Welcome to Terrifying Tales. A Brush with the Ripper by C.J. Knight. London, 1888. The fog settled thick over London like a damp shroud, muffling gaslight and footfall alike. Daisy Elmes, 21 and sharp of mind, pulled her shawl tighter as she stepped from the seamstress shop where she worked. Fortunate to have found such employment, Daisy was desperate to keep it. As such, on this day, she found herself working late. It was past midnight by the time she found herself on the streets, and they whispered danger. The entire city of London was on edge on account of the recent murders. A killer stalked the shadows of London's fog-filled streets at night. But Daisy walked these cobbled paths her entire life. She knew the shortcuts, the shadows to avoid. Or so she thought. As she passed through Mitre Square, a shadow detached itself from the gloom. A man donning a dark coat, hat pulled low over his eyes. He didn't lurch drunkenly or beg for money. He walked with purpose. He came to a stop in front of Daisy, blocking her way. "Evening, miss." His voice smooth as polished steel. Daisy stepped back instinctively. "Good evening, sir," she replied, trying to sidestep. He mirrored her movement. "Out awfully late," he observed, tilting his head slightly. "Not safe for a young woman. There are monsters about." "I'm aware," Daisy said, stealing her voice, "which is why I'll be on my way." He smiled, and for a moment, Daisy's blood ran cold. It wasn't a smile meant for charm. The grin of a man who saw through courtesies and into a person's soul. His gloved hand twitched near his coat pocket. A scream lodged in Daisy's throat, but something odd happened. He looked at her. Truly looked. His eyes, dark and gleaming, they narrowed. Something in her face, her poise, perhaps even her defiance, gave him pause. He blinked. Just once. He turned, abruptly, melting back into the alleyways like a wraith, whispering as he did. Daisy didn't wait. She ran, breath rasping, until the lights of Commercial Street blurred through her tears. The next morning the newsboys cried on every corner. There had been another murder. A woman butchered on the streets of London. But it wasn't Daisy. She sought out a constable and gave her statement, shaking while she remembered the man who appeared from the shadows. The constable didn't believe her. Of course, how could he? A lone woman, crossing paths with Jack the Ripper, and live to tell the tale? Absurd. Daisy remembered his face. Not his features. They were as forgettable as the fog. But that look in his eyes. She never truly knew why he let her go. Perhaps he saw in her a shadow of someone he once knew. Perhaps he liked the fear in her eyes better preserved. Or perhaps, Daisy sometimes thought late at night, he knew he would meet her again. Just before he vanished into the fog, he'd whispered, Another time, Miss Elms. Another time. Daisy kept her windows locked. Always. Sometimes she'd be woken in the middle of the night by whispers in the fog beneath her window. But he never appeared. The Man in the Fog by C.J. Knight. London, 1888. The city was a wound that refused to heal, festering with soot, sin and secrets. Every woman who walked Whitechapel after dark knew fear like a second skin. And yet, hunger didn't wait for daylight. Clara Hensley, 17, wrapped her threadbare shawl tighter and stepped out of the boarding house into the fog-choked night. She needed bread. Her brother was ill, her purse empty, and her landlord had no sympathy left to spare. The streets were hushed, muffled by thick fog that twisted lamplight into halos. Her footsteps echoed like whispers on the cobblestone. That's when she saw him, a man, standing perfectly still beneath a flickering gas lamp. Long coat, bowler hat, gloved hands. Clara slowed, fear prickling at her neck beneath her shawl. He never moved, didn't seem to breathe. But she felt it, his eyes on her, sharp as blades. Clara crossed the street. So did the man in the coat. She quickened her step. So did he. Clara broke into a run, darting into a narrow alley that smelled of rot and old smoke. When she turned, he was already there, closer than he should have been. His voice was soft and precise, as if enjoying each word. Clara Hensley. She froze. "How do you know my name?" she whispered. He stepped forward. The fog parted, just enough to show a face. Not monstrous, ordinary, clean-shaven, pale. The kind of face you wouldn't look at twice. But his eyes, there was nothing there, soulless. It reminded Clara of the doll she had as a child. "I know everyone," he said, "and I've chosen." She turned to run, but he was faster. A gloved hand gripped her shoulder, unnaturally strong. But then something happened that the Ripper had never encountered. Clara screamed, not out of fear, but fury. From the folds of her threadbare shawl, she pulled a knitting needle and stabbed the Ripper in the side. His grip on her relaxed as he recoiled, not from pain, but confusion. Blood welled through his coat. For the first time, perhaps ever, Jack the Ripper bled. Clara ran. She didn't stop until she collapsed outside the police station on Lehman Street, half delirious, raving about the man in the fog. The constables listened, but no one believed she'd escaped from the Ripper. That night no women died. Clara faded into obscurity, her name forgotten to time. Deep in the bowels of London, in a tunnel walled off and forgotten, there's an old coat soaked through with blood that never dried. If you stand there long enough, you'll hear a voice echo through the stone. I chose wrong. If you like what you heard, please like and share the video, and please subscribe to the channel. Please feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you thought. Until next time.